goody, here it comes.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show.
You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Oh my God, don't stop now!
With your hosts, Brian, John, and Elaine.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show, the madhouse for film freaks and film fans of all types. I'm your host, Brian Coddington, joined by my fellow co-hosts and filmmakers, John and Lane Woolscroft.
Hello? Hello, where are you guys? Where's everybody? Oh.
Yeah.
Poor John's so confused.
We're here over the internet, so
But we sound so good this time.
yeah, it's kind of terrifying. We're using a new piece of software to attempt to make us sound better, or at least back to where we were when we were recording in person, since we have a feeling this is going to be a long-term thing with the plague.
It's fine.
So you all can be the judge and let us know if this sounds good or if this sounds like shit. Send us an email at cinemapsychoshow@gmail.com.
Because the show must go on, and we will never run out of things to talk about.
No, we won't. No, we won't. Even when the movies aren't coming out in theaters, we will still never run out of things to talk about.
So, we just turn our grad school experience into a show.
That's right. That's right. Oh, that's low.
Yikes.
Yeah, so we're on episode 173, and this is going to be one of our topic episodes, which is these are always fun. But today we're going to be talking about movies that we hate, that you all, or everyone, seems to love.
Yeah.
Like really endear to them.
There's nothing more isolating either, too, I think.
Yeah.
And guys, just to be clear, when I said our grad school, I meant because we always talked about movies all the time.
Okay.
Before and after class. Yeah. I wasn't digging on grad school or anything.
Okay.
But yeah, and eventually we'll do the flip side of this. I've seen these on, around the internets, and I thought, that's an
clickbait. They're
interesting
clickbait.
Topic.
Clickbait.
Yeah, kind of a little bit. Yeah,
Little
we're
clickbaity.
clickbaiting the audience. Yeah,
Of course we are. Why not? You always say we're riding a wave, right? Like that's literally what we're doing. But we're riding the clickbait wave. Yeah. So this, I got to be honest with you, we did a test of this new piece of software. We're using Cleanfeed, by the way. So if Cleanfeed wants to give us money, you can.
Yes, please.
but like a free version of it.
Yeah, give us a free
version.
pro version. Anyway, like we did a test of this yesterday, and I of course found out that I made the mistake of not listening to John and Lane, because I did the opposite. Like earlier this week, I thought really long and hard. I'm like, okay, what are movies that I love but everyone seems to hate? And then it wasn't until yesterday during the test that I found out, oh shit, you've got less than 24 hours to go and put together another list because you've thought like 5 episodes ahead.
But hey, you got the list, for 5 episodes from now. So.
I did. I got that list. That list actually has a lot of thought to it. This one, I'm going to be honest with you, came up over the course of maybe like 30 minutes.
Well, it's funny because obviously I live with John.
Yeah.
And a spoiler. And
A spoiler.
We're quarantined together.
And like with with the quarantine, and like I'm still working full time.
same
Nothing
here.
much has really changed with my job at all. Been doing everything on my on my end of things, and so I'm busy all the time, and I must have asked John 7 times. I was like, wait, which one is it? One that we love that everyone hates, or the other way around? And poor John, I mean, Herculean patience of him to like patiently say, no, babe, it's the one that you hate that everyone else loves. And I'm like, oh, right. Cool. And then I'd ask him again like a day later.
Yeah, and then there's me who basically like throws the nail in the coffin on John's patience and causes him to lose his shit over quarantine by saying, wait a minute, I wrote this whole list about movies that I love that everyone hates, right? And that's what it's supposed to be. And then I listen, I'm like, oh shit, the sound went dead. John's turned into Norman Bates.
Whoopsie.
No, the thing challenging my patience is people in Michigan getting out of their cars with their semi-automatic rifles on the
guys. We can't start with that shit, or
Yeah,
I'm
I
never
know.
gonna get to the movies.
I know, and we talked before we started recording about all the fun people in Florida who think it's beach weather and not just plague weather.
I mean, I'd like to just say, like, I'm in hell. I miss my friends.
I miss you guys.
I miss you too. I watched a movie over Zoom with my friends, and like it was fine, but like
It's not the same.
I mean, I'm gonna crush everybody's ribs with hugs by the time I see him again. I miss my mom. I think I've said that several times on this show that I miss my mommy.
I'm going like full Biden sniffy, huggy,
You did.
rubby.
You did say you were just gonna creep out when we're allowed to touch people again. I'm excited.
So you're gonna like totally like creep on me, John? Is that what you're gonna do?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna rub your
You're-
shoulders. Tell you you're great. While I sniff your head.
Oh yeah,
and you can
good.
do it.
he's gonna. I think you're first on his sniff list, Brian.
That's cool. I appreciate you. I appreciate you and putting me on the first on your sniff list. I was just thinking, like, this is cool, of course, off the cuff. You guys should really do one of your movie things online, like your movie watching stuff.
Oh yeah,
group movie watching.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, John, I think that John should do one of his challenges that he does. Remember when he did Fast and the Furious?
I do have one coming up.
Why would you do that?
I think
That's
he
a bad
should.
idea.
I think it's going to be amazing.
That is a super bad idea. I would not do that.
I was challenged for Sex in the City.
Oh
and
God, no.
I think in one day I can get through 3 seasons. So
Oh.
maybe into the 4th season. Depends.
I'm excited for him.
Oh no, don't do it.
I'm such a Miranda.
Everybody's such a Miranda.
I'm very excited. I'm very
Okay,
excited.
so not talking about challenges, but did you guys find that this list was a challenge to come up with?
Oh yeah, at first because I was like, shit. I was like, what movies do I hate? First of all,
Yeah.
because I don't think about it that much. I only really focus on the ones that I love. You know.
Yeah.
My
same
top
here.
2 were easier. The other ones were a little hard to go. The movies that I love that everybody else hates is a lot easier. Because we always have those movies like I don't understand why everybody else shits all over this, but yeah,
Right.
The other 3 were a little tricky to come up with.
Yeah, for me, this was, one, because it was short notice. Again, my fault. But, like, there were, I had to think about what movies, one, do everyone just seem to love so much? So, like, for me, I quite literally Googled movies everyone loves. And I got a nice big list. And I'm just looking through, I'm like, yeah, everyone seems to love those. And, like, a lot of them I don't hate, but I also don't love either. Like, they're kind of like middle ground. So I like really had to find movies, and I'll be honest with you, and this is kind of forewarning you, my list does include like a series of stuff.
Okay.
So they're somewhat related. So you might call that cheating, but
Judges?
The judges. He's
They'll
calling
allow
for
it.
the
They'll allow
judges.
it.
Okay, cool. But I'm just saying, like, I had to like really like dig deep to figure out, okay, which movies do I actually like have a physical reaction to of hatred when I hear it or see that people like go blow up over it. So like that was the challenge for me.
Yeah.
Well, too. I kind of have a little bit of an advantage over you guys because I found the kind of subset of women and female movies. I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to say it like that so much, but I would say that the rom-com genre, let's say, that was sort of helpful for me because there are some movies, because you know how you guys are nostalgic for maybe, something like Batman or Turtles and stuff. Like there are some.
And we are.
Yeah, and there's some movies, some rom-coms that, that women I know are nostalgic in that way where they're maybe not that good, but they're a part of your growing up, and so
This summer, Katherine Heigl derp with Gerard Butler.
it's always Katherine Heigl and Gerard Butler.
She's a high-powered derp. He's a renegade derp.
I mean, that's true. That is kind of true.
But yeah, not to say that these are all female movies or anything. I feel like I
Yeah.
didn't say that quite right, but
Yeah, no, I don't hate those kinds of movies, so it's kind of hard. And one, I don't watch them. Like that's the thing too. I wanted to make sure that I picked movies that I've at least seen, not just like by reputation I can't stand it, but I had to have actually seen it. And I'll be honest with you, I don't watch a whole lot of romantic comedies because it's just not my thing. So if I haven't seen it, I'm really not gonna say I hate it.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
So, with that said, Lane, do you want to start us off on your list of movies that you hate?
I'll ease us into the list. Okay. So
Okay, cool.
I think John's not going to be thrilled, but as the list goes on, this might be like the easiest one to swallow.
And you have 5, right?
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, just to be clear, everybody will have the top 5.
Yep,
Okay,
I
cool.
have 5. So my first one, Dumb and Dumber.
You really hate
Really?
Dumb and Dumber that
I
much?
do.
You hate it.
I do. I looked hard and deep into my soul, gentlemen, and I came up with hate in my heart. You know,
man.
because so
Well,
here-
Lauren's going to be thrilled with our hatred of Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I was going to say, my wife really hates Jim Carrey. Like, it's a thing.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I grew up not really, having been marketed to with a lot of his movies.
Yeah.
I still would give anything to go back into a time machine. I'm not even sure I would like really stop by the Twin Towers in 01.
Wouldn't stop the Kennedy assassination.
I would just head straight for 4th grade John, where he's just doing imitations of Jim Carrey in his classroom. That's all I want from a time travel situation. I just want to see baby John. That's all I want.
Did you actually do imitations in your classroom?
Oh, yeah, all the time. The teachers hated me.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you do the butt thing?
Oh, yeah. You have to do that.
Cool. Yeah.
Excuse me, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Yeah. So I imagine if John's teachers had podcasts back in the day, they would do top 5 students that I hate.
A lot
John
of my
would be
teachers
number
would
1.
use a time machine to go back and assassinate themselves. So they didn't have to deal with me anymore. Or assassinate me.
Maybe I would be sad though. But no, all I want to see is baby John doing his Jim Carrey like all day. But anyway, I'm not a big Jim Carrey fan. I don't think I've seen anything that I've liked him in.
I actually
Is that
liked
fair?
him. Well, I liked him in Jim and Andy.
Oh, okay.
You know, I actually didn't mind.
seen that.
You went the documentary route.
I did. Well, I did. I liked that.
I haven't seen that, but I know what you mean. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I liked that. I mean, mainly because like I really actually do like Man on the Moon. I thought
Right.
that was a good movie.
Okay.
But I mean, he's very grating,
He's a lot, and
you really have to kind of like turn off that. Am I watching a cartoon or am I watching a human being thing?
Yeah,
with him.
and with this one, the humor just sets my teeth on edge, and
Yeah.
I don't find it funny. It's just not my thing. And not to say that I don't like gross out humor, that I don't like. I mean, because like the pooping scene in Bridesmaids, like I cry every time I laugh so hard. It's not like I don't.
You like that scatological humor.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not saying that I'm too like highbrow for it, or you know what I mean. Like that's not where this is coming from. But just for a lot of reasons, I'm just not a big Dumb and Dumber fan. And usually if it's on cable, I'm like, nope.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I was gonna say like
Thanks.
I
Thanks, guys.
I personally I like Dumb and Dumber.
Well, yeah, it's a movie I hate that everyone fucking loves. That's the episode.
Yeah. I right now if we're talking Dumb and Dumber 2, oh god.
I refuse to see it. I
Oh,
have not
God.
seen
Yeah,
it.
we don't-
and I
we
will
don't
go to
talk
John,
Dumb
I've
and
not
Dumber
seen
too.
it.
We don't
John,
talk about
I'm
it.
telling you right now, I have opened that arc of the Covenant and it's bad. It is
I-
it is really. It'll make you cry because you're just like, what happened to my boy?
I can't do it.
Nope.
All right, Lay, what's number 4 here?
You guys are going to be upset.
You're coming in hot.
Uh-oh.
You guys are going to be upset. Well, I have a palate cleanser after this, but you guys are
Okay,
going to be
cool.
upset. The Big Lebowski?
No.
I know.
Come on.
Okay, but I have good reasons. Okay,
No,
so
there are no good reasons for not
Okay.
liking the Big Lebowski.
shut up. So here's no, I'm just kidding. So no. Okay. So one thing I would like to be crystal clear about is that in my hating of it, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. Okay?
Okay.
That is not me saying it's a bad movie. And I will say it is quotable as shit. I say quotes from this movie a lot. But I will say that for this movie, that the problem is that the women are so repugnant in it that I can't deal with it, and I can't connect with it, and it makes me hate it so much because it makes us women seem like we are just complete and either insane or vapid stupid whores.
So you did not find Bunny Lebowski's portrayal by Tara Reid to be riveting?
I mean, I think she did good with what she was given, but I think at the writing level, I think the problem at the writing level is just that women were just written to be utter pieces of shit, and I can't connect to movies like that where there's just nothing redeemable about female characters. There's nobody really redeemable in the movie so much.
Donnie.
No.
Donnie's fine.
No. But yeah, I know. And I will say on the scale of hate, it's definitely the one I hate the least.
Yeah,
It's
I was
like-
going to say Donnie's an angel.
It's my of this movie, like I'm not going in order. This is like my least hated movie. I would say I hate Dumb and Dumber more than this one.
Okay.
Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
I know, and I say quotes from it all the time, but I just wanted something a little controversial for you guys, you know?
All right.
Is this your homework, Larry? Is this your homework, Larry?
That's what happens when you fuck a grown man in the ass.
So a palate cleanser for you guys.
Okay.
I fucking hate Pretty Woman. I hate that movie so fucking much. I don't
Yeah.
This
really
is gonna be quick. Yeah, fuck Pretty
Yeah.
Woman.
Yeah, I don't like that one either.
I don't really like Julia Roberts that much. I can't stand Richard Gere, and I don't think there's anything charming about some rich asshole wanting to like plug this like woman and
Well, he did plug her. Like that.
Yeah.
That happened like in the first act.
right. But I love that he just wants to keep plugging her, and so he wants to just like class her up and change her to be acceptable, quote unquote. And
What's that saying? Like, like white savior? Is this dick savior?
maybe his dick saves her.
His dick says in a British accent, right? Hello, dear Juliet Roberts. I mean,
I will save you.
I shall save you from your peril.
Dearest,
But yeah.
dearest nation, we were talking about how penises have English accents before we went on the air. That's
Yeah.
how we roll. That's how we roll.
I love how you explained that. Like it explains things at all.
If you know
that
it makes
has
sense.
nothing.
Yeah, I don't want our British audience to be like, well, what the hell? They did an awesome review of Nemophrenia, a couple weeks ago, and now they're saying that we're the voice of every penis. Like, is that it?
No, it's
We're saying it because we're classing up.
Yes.
Yeah.
classing up our dicks. That's the thing that we've
That's
said on
right.
this show now.
That-
Okay. Anyway, couple of reasons. Just want to get through them real quick,
Sure, sure.
guys. I think this movie's classist as shit. I mean, it's the 80s.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Of course, it's classist. But also, I think it's very against like sex work. I think it's like very misinformed. I think it oversimplifies the idea of sex work. I just think it's shitty all around. I don't think it's romantic. I think it is stupid. And a lot of women love this movie.
Really?
And well, I think it's, again, because it's not a great movie, but like they saw it when they were younger and they're fond of it, and it's not perfect and maybe it doesn't hold up, but it holds that space for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so. I never got this movie because I think this movie came out in 90 or 91. I don't think it was exactly.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, it was really early 90s. So,
right. True.
But I never understood the allure of this movie.
Well, again, I mean, this was certainly nothing that was marketed to you, Brian. Like,
But
this isn't anything
I remember it. I remember it.
Right.
The commercials for it. And I remember the stupid he's got the what was it, the jewelry case open, and he claps it, and she goes, and I'm just like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is
That's
that?
a very good Julia Roberts, actually.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
you nailed it.
Actually,
Oh.
she's not even acting in that scene because he really did snap it shut and scare her.
Really?
That's a fun
Little
fact
trivia
about that
fact,
movie.
yeah.
Little trivia fact.
with a heart of gold.
But yeah, the whole hooker with a heart of gold thing is so stupid. I think it minimizes sex work. I think it objectifies and depersonalizes people, and I think it's stupid. Hate it.
Yeah.
Hate it.
All
All right.
Lane, what do we got?
Next, Breakfast Club. I can't stand that movie.
Yeah, that movie can take a diarrhea dump in a theater.
I don't hate it nearly as much. Like again, that's a movie that I've seen it. I'm like, okay, whatever.
I'm not
But
a big fan
I don't
of,
like hate it.
I'm not a big fan of John Hughes movies. I think this movie is grating. I think it's so like self-serving.
Well,
And
yeah, I mean,
I
that's
just
a
don't.
lot
And
of
I
his
also,
movies.
I also don't think it's very interesting. Like if it's on cable, I'm like, nah.
Well, Lane, you told me you were gonna take this one, and because you knew how I felt about it, and I was upset I couldn't take it from my list because I didn't want any overlap.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because you don't like it either. I mean,
It's a bunch of rich, uninteresting people sitting around talking about uninteresting, vapid things.
Exactly, and I think it's just so super boring.
No one
again-
has conversations like that at that age, by the way.
No.
Nobody. No one does.
But well, if they do, it's on Dawson's Creek.
No, well, they don't
And
either.
they-
But I'm just saying, like, every single time I see these like teen dramas, they always have this. They sound like they're written by 40-year-old men.
Because they are.
Yeah.
Right. But the point is that
They sound like
I don't know about you, but like at that age, it was like, oh, did you watch Dragon Ball Z last night? Yeah, I watched Dragon Ball Z last night. Okay, what'd you do after that? Well, I watched a little bit of porn. Like that's the conversation.
Amazing.
That is the
Dragon Ball
extent.
Z porn.
Yeah, well, yeah, man, like hentai, man. But the point is,
searing
Mosquito.
dialogue.
the point I'm trying to get across is like
Dickolo.
that is the level of discourse right there
Yeah.
of that age group.
Well, not to say that like teenagers aren't capable of like deeper conversations, but like,
Yes, they're having conversations over TikTok. I mean, come on, like
but it's usually like other stuff though. I
Yes.
mean, like the moments I think of the moments in general in life that are that profound are pretty few and far between. Like where you have like a really long, in-depth conversation. But anyway, I think the movie's tiresome. I don't love it. In fact, I hate it because that's what the point of this list is.
yeah, no, I get it.
I just and too like it's one of those ones that people are like nostalgic for, and I find a lot of women are more nostalgic for those Molly Ringwald / Brat Pack.
I was gonna say like that movie and Pretty in Pink are pretty much just like that age group's
and 16 Candles
and 16 Candles. Can't forget that one. They just kind of those are the ones they latch onto.
Yeah.
And I never got it. Maybe it's because of the fact that it's not really our films, Like those came out when we were maybe like 1.
And two, like not being female, it's nothing that you would have really discovered as you got older either. So
Right.
It makes a big difference. So, all right. So the last one you guys are not going to be happy about.
Uh-oh.
I'll tell you that right now.
All right.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Oh, fuck that.
I
You know
know.
what? Hold on to your potatoes. That's just.
Listen,
No
It's-
time for love, Lane.
it's racist. It's misogynistic. If
Oh.
Willie died of fiery death, I'd be so into it.
It very much is.
I mean, I've
misogynistic. I mean, is there anybody worse than that female character in that?
I mean,
movie
I've
ever?
said on the
You
show
mean
a
Willie
couple of-
Scott,
Willie, yeah.
the singer, the world famous singer?
I mean, I've said a couple times on the show that I have definitely felt left out of Indiana Jones because I don't feel like these films are for
You want
me.
to know something funny? So, over the past few weeks, my daughter Coraline has become obsessed with Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Oh my God, no way. That's so funny.
So-
You're wrong, Lane.
Yeah, no,
I
yeah.
guess, I guess.
Coraline likes. Well, what she does is she just says, "Yeah, Joe." Like she'll say, and I'll be like, "Do you want the heart one?" And she's like, "Uh-huh," and she takes her hand and like does the Kali Ma to her heart.
Oh, that's adorable.
So I'll put that on. She likes watching it. Like
That's
she loves,
funny.
and I know what it is. It's more fast paced. It's more visually interesting. It's just that type of movie. It's just like hits you every single minute. But yeah, there are some problems.
Yeah, no,
There are
like
some
I
serious problems after
like I
watching
said,
it like 20 times in the past couple weeks. You start to see those problems.
Yeah, and like I said, I've always felt like the Indiana Jones Enterprise is just not for me. Like I've always felt kind of left out because
Yeah.
it just never felt like it was accessible for women, and all the women characters are kind of unlikable. I know Karen Allen. With Karen Allen's character, they tried, but like I don't know, they did that trope where it was just like
I was
going
gonna
to
say,
you under the table, and I'm a real like I'm not like other girls.
Well,
like,
I just with Karen Allen, I always in Raiders of the Lost Ark, the only thing I got from that was Yandy. Like that's the only thing I heard from her.
and that's all that like women really are in these movies. But in this one, I want
This
to
one especially is pretty bad.
light Willie on fire. I think it's really racist.
We had a bitter toy salesman going through a divorce. At the
I
time.
know. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Actually,
Like,
both the salesmen were going.
Yeah,
through
they
divorce.
were.
Yeah.
They both were. And that's again, like, I don't think that should inform your art. Like, I think that, if you're going through something bitter, like, that sucks. Get a helmet. But and as far as that goes, I'm mad because, like, this is a cool enterprise. I mean, like every child, I wanted to be an archaeologist for 5 minutes, and I feel like this was taken from me just because of being like a girl, growing up. Like, I never felt like these movies were for me.
I get it.
And
I mean,
I can't stand Temple of Doom.
see, here's the thing. I actually have a fondness for Temple of Doom because that was the first Indiana Jones film I saw. I saw them out of order, and that's
That's
honestly,
right. I remember you saying
and
that.
honestly, it's the same thing with Star Wars. I for the longest time really loved Empire Strikes Back, really loved Return of the Jedi, and still Return of the Jedi for me is my favorite. But I never saw A New Hope until later because it was never on TV.
Oh, okay.
It was one of those movies where it never showed up on TV. It never was on like TBS or HBO or any of those things. So, like, for me, I saw the sequels first and really grew to love the sequels. So watching Temple of Doom, I still like it, but I absolutely can see the moments of pure and utter racism, the moments of probably not the most feminist portrayal of a female character.
It's so bad.
And I
guys.
would
It's
say
so
that
bad.
Willie Scott gives Kim Basinger and Batman a run for her money in terms of the scream count.
Useless screaming. Yeah.
Useless
Yeah.
screaming.
Useless screaming.
Useless screaming. Because that's another movie that I'm trying to get Coraline into is the 89 Batman. So, every 5 seconds Kim Basinger is screaming for no reason. And it almost seems like a canned sound effect at times.
Oh yeah, they just went into the sound booth and she gave Tim Burton like 12 different variations of screams, different lengths, and
Yeah.
they brought Harvey Weinstein in and she just started screaming. And,
Oh, that's bad. That's really bad.
you want to be in a movie? Wash my ass with a loofah.
Oh, God.
My God. So that's my list, guys.
That's a good list. That's a solid list.
Good list, but at the same time, fuck you.
I know. I
Fuck
know.
you. That's a good list.
Our marriage is a sham, apparently.
Yeah. All right. John, you want to go next?
Sure thing.
Okay.
All right. So, capping in here at number 5. Now's your chance. Do your dance at the Space Jam.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How about that? I mean, it's not a good movie.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's every athlete who thinks that they're funny and interesting's like favorite comedy. Like their favorite actual movie is Hoosiers. The only books they've ever written. The only books they ever read.
Hoosiers.
The only books they ever read were written by Phil Jackson. It's just like it's and the thing is, I love the Looney Tunes.
Me too.
It might be arguably the greatest cartoon series that's ever been devised, but in this one they are unlikable.
Screw you. Merry Melodies is far superior.
It's grating. The humor doesn't land. And I will say, as a comment here, Michael Jordan, in my opinion, greatest basketball player of all time, but human piece of shit. And that kind of takes me out of it because I don't like Michael Jordan as a human being. Greatest ball player ever, but I can't stand him as a human. And the story is, it's simultaneously predictable, but also so poorly written that it's like, it didn't seem like they ever did a second draft of this thing. And I think the only reason people remember it and like it so much is because they saw it when they were like, 10 years old. And,
Yeah, no, I completely get it. I mean, if I go back to the time it came out, I did like it, and I think that's one of those movies where it's like, you, as a kid, you really love it and you really get it, but when you get older and you watch it, you're just like, this is really annoying. I don't get some of the jokes, like you've got what's his face from Seinfeld who gets blown up like a balloon. Newman gets blown up like a balloon, and you're just like, oh, this is kind of like a fat joke that just lands really flat.
It was the mid-90s, they're not going to be like thinking too deep for their humor.
No,
Nope.
they're not. No, they're not.
And I never thought there would be a time where I hated Bill Murray, but like when he shows up at the end of the movie, I'm like, oh fuck.
Okay, who
It's
the
bad.
hell? Who the hell wears a T-shirt and then has like a tank top over the T-shirt?
It's because Bill Murray's horribly out of shape. And
Well,
he's
that was
not
the
in
'90s
scene.
too. That was
I know,
the 90s.
but it just seems kind of you're wearing layers and you're going to be sweating.
I don't know. It's kind of like wearing a jersey over a T-shirt. I've seen it.
I think it's just like unless you're playing like flag football in high school where you have to do that, it just seems kind of ridiculous.
Oh my God, wearing the pennies.
Oh yeah. And the little like belt that has all the little flags on it and you got to pull it.
Oh
It makes
yeah,
a
no.
pop
When
noise.
I was on the soccer team, when we would like scrimmage, one team had to wear the pennies, and like somebody had to take them home to launder them every week. Oh my God, they were disgusting. Ugh.
Yeah, and I'm not coming from this from like an anti-sports thing or anything. I played sports for the first like
Dude, you're the one that
14,
likes them the
15
best
years
out of
my
this
life.
group.
Yeah, I was going to
played-
say you
I
actually
played
like,
3 different sports. If I didn't
I'm
suck,
second somehow.
If I didn't suck at sports, I would still be doing it. If I
Fair
just
enough.
was born with LeBron James' ability to play basketball, I'd be in the NBA right now. but I didn't get that.
Yeah.
I can't even touch rim. But yeah, you know, the thing is, there's like a lot of nostalgia goggles, and like for me, like a movie that I think has a ton of problems and it isn't very good is Hook. But the thing is, I'm always gonna have that nostalgia twinge in my heart from when I was a kid and I loved it. So I couldn't include that on the list because I'd be lying, because part of me loves Hook,
yeah.
even though it's like kind of crappy. But Spaceship I have no, even though I saw it when it came out, I think I saw it in the movie theater or whatever, I have no emotional attachment to it that blinds me to just how shitty this movie is.
Yeah. It's one of those movies that I as I said, I think some people have a nostalgia boner for it. But honestly, it has not aged really well.
All right. Number 4 here is Wet Hot American Summer.
Oh, come on. That hurts me.
I'm indifferent on that particular movie.
I've been told it's a comedy, but I don't remember there ever being a joke.
Oh my God, you're such a dick. You know,
Oh, it's a comedy.
I have to say that I thought that shit was the funniest thing I'd ever seen at 19.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
I think I was like 14 or 15 when I saw it. And I just remember about halfway through, I was like, when did the jokes start?
Oh my God, you're
When did
such
the
a
humor
dick.
start?
God, you're such a dick.
Every character is grating and awful. It's that whole Ben Stiller and his group of buddies at that time, like all his Stella group and his
Really?
Janeane
Because Ben
Garofalo.
Stiller's not in it at all.
Yeah, but it's that group.
It's
of
that group of
guys.
people.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that he just didn't find a way to get his grubby fingers into it. That's all.
I bet he was a producer.
He's probably a
somehow.
producer at this.
Yeah,
I
I
guess.
want to check the credits.
I mean, when this movie came out, he was like at peak Stiller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, that's a shame because like I said, that was the funniest shit I'd ever seen when I was 19. Oh man.
I don't.
Yeah, I never
do you
never
have a
really.
sense of humor?
What'd you say?
Do you have a sense of humor?
Wow.
What is funny in this movie?
Wow. Okay. So a quick
I'll
update.
hump
By the
the
time the
fridge for you real
episode's
quick if you want.
over, we're going to divorce. Okay,
But you can't
cool.
leave. That's
Whatever.
the thing. You're divorcing, but you're quarantine divorcing.
Listen, we have a backyard and all of the doors lock. It's fine.
John, you're just gonna find yourself outside in your bed one day, like,
Hey,
how did I
John.
get here?
John,
Yourself,
could
how
you
did I get here?
could you like take the dog out? Cool thing.
Wait, the door's locked. But yeah, we have we'll have this person remain nameless. But we had a professor who said that like she, well, I just said she, but all right. So now we've rolled down the gender. She said that like if you don't like Wet Hot American Summer, then like that's how I base whether like I like you or not, and and I was thinking to myself, wow, you probably fucking hate me, and I think I hate you.
Wow. Wow.
Oh man, yeah. That's see. Here's the thing. I've never had any professor that said, "Well, if you don't like this movie, then fuck you," because everyone's movie tastes are kind of different.
Right.
I love B movies, and my wife does not love B movies, but we still make it work because a relationship is not built on movies alone.
B movie people are interesting people.
Yes, they
It's true. It's true.
All right. Well, I think, our dear listeners, please do not turn this episode off for my next one.
Uh-oh.
I'm worried.
Make sure you give Brian his respect and hear his out. But number 3, The Matrix.
Oh, fuck you.
I don't think that's so bad. I
fuck
get it.
You. Fuck you.
Maybe I'm
Fuck
just
you.
used to it.
Fuck you.
I'm familiar with this opinion, so
babies. It's just.
I'm sorry. It's what for babies?
What is it?
Philosophy for babies? Is that what you said?
Yes.
You're such a dick.
Yeah, here's the thing. I can see your point, but I still love the Matrix. The first Matrix. I'm not talking about Reloaded or Revolutions because those were god awful. But the first one, I really do like it. First DVD I ever bought.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Okay. But like, why have the Matrix? They don't. The robots don't need it.
I guess to keep people complacent.
They could just keep them in their cocoons and use
no,
them for
but
energy.
the point is, and they explain this is that they at one point, I think it's a matter of the fact that to get the energy, which is what they need the energy from human beings. They have to almost be in a sense of complacency. And
that's what I thought.
The Matrix, and it's even Smith says it, and towards the end he says, the first Matrix we created was designed to be a utopia, and what they found is people wouldn't accept it. So that tells me that there has to be, a point of the mind not realizing what is going on for them to be able to harvest the energy necessary. So, and at the same point, he says, we needed to also not make it perfect. So there had to almost be like a sense of internal struggle within the reality they're creating to be able to harvest the energy. So that's why. Now, you want to say that's a convoluted way? Yeah, it is. But I think it makes sense within the realm of the movie.
Well,
See, John, you're wrong.
Yeah. Well, when I think about that scene, I think about how Keanu Reeves is tied up.
No, that wasn't Keanu Reeves tied up. That was Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh, right. Lawrence Fishburne is tied up. And Agent Smith is just delivering 45 minutes of convoluted exposition right at his face.
Yes.
And this is right before Keanu Reeves and
Carrie-Anne Moss,
excuse me, come in and shoot innocent people to death.
Yeah. What's your point?
It's that this movie is a convoluted mess.
Yes, but I really like
coats and machine guns. There's not much there.
No, here's the thing. I do see it through a little bit of nostalgia goggles. At the same time, though, I do see the faults. I think that the script in this one, I think, is actually stronger than the sequels, because the sequels quite literally went for more of a, I would say, proto superhero film.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's in my mind what they did. They also leaned really heavy into that Jesus thing, and it got kind of ridiculous. But with this one, I think it does speak to a little bit of what your perceptions of reality are. And it also does bring in elements from philosophy, such as the idea that, we don't really know reality beyond our senses, and our senses kind of form our reality. What if those senses were to be manipulated in some way? I think it also does ask a little bit of questions about our relationship to technology. So, yeah, though you could say that is philosophy for children, but at the same time, I don't see any other movies that try to ask those sorts of questions outside of Nemophrenia, which you should go and download on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, check it
Good
out.
transition. Okay, we can't defend any of the movies like that, though. Come on.
Right.
I wasn't able to stand up for my beloved Wet Hot American Summer.
No, I'm going to stand up for The Matrix because I actually really like it.
All right. Yeah. And to each their own.
Yeah.
True.
Number 2 coming into the deuce. We got Boyhood.
Oh, you hate that movie
you really
so
hate
much.
this movie.
You hate that movie so much.
15 years to make or whatever. I can't remember how long now, how many years they shot, but like
15 years.
yeah. Take the convoluted like way that he shot it over all those years out of there, and you have a forgettable movie where nothing happens with unlikable people. It's grating.
Oh,
This
wow.
movie,
The hate.
nothing happens.
Do people really love this movie?
I mean,
People really are like,
when it came out, it was the bee's knees. I thought it was going to win Best Picture, but thankfully it went to Birdman's score.
yeah, John was so upset when he thought that it was going to win.
It was beloved. I think that people are totally into the novelty hook that he shot it with the actual kid over so many years. And I'd be like, have they not seen television shows where kids age?
I mean,
You know,
that's a thing.
Like,
Yeah, well,
what's, like,
John, you're not a
growing
big
pains,
fan of gimmicks.
You know, yeah. And the kid's like over 9 seasons, like they'll age too. It's incredible.
They always have that
mind.
one season where they look really weird, though. Like they're in between being a adult and in between and a child.
Oh
Like in
yeah,
the first
John, we
season.
call this larva stage. You never had that.
Yeah, it really is a larva stage because like they've got now the chiseled cheeks. Like the cheekbones will be chiseled a little bit, but like they still have that baby fat under the cheeks, and it's still like weird looking.
Dude,
Well,
everybody except for John was weird looking for a time. It's
Really?
real fucking annoying.
okay, but my
John
favorite
was
is
always
when you have
attractive.
TV shows with kids, not to sidebar here, but like the last season where they're clearly 30.
Oh yeah,
You know, like if you've ever seen the show Wishbone,
Yes.
obviously,
Oh yeah, that's hard to
the
watch.
kids are like they have like beards and their voices are deep. You know?
Where'd you
last
get a
season-
beard, Jimmy?
I don't know. Did you guys shave your senior year of high school?
Yeah.
Here's the
every
thing with
once
me.
in a while I had to. Yeah.
I shaved. I'd say probably freshman year.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was a early
man's
bloomer.
man.
I was
you
an
always had
early
a
bloomer.
sweet ass beard. Yeah.
No, I didn't have a
know-
beard back then. I only
Okay.
had a little peach fuzz mustache.
Ah.
I was gonna say, yeah, you can grow a beard now. I can't. I just grow patches of facial hair and just comb them. I comb over my facial hair to make it work.
Amazing.
But all right, and number one here, I don't know if Lane, you would see this coming.
Oh, okay.
But you were giving me a look. Gravity.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
wow, interesting. Okay.
Gravity isn't a movie. It's an amusement park ride.
Yeah,
you know what?
you're not
you
a
know
big
what?
fan.
You're actually pretty accurate on that one. I can appreciate it for the visual effects.
Oh yeah,
I really
Yeah,
can.
It's
I really
a
can.
stunning achievement in visual effects, but that's all it is.
Yes. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's true.
So was Revenge of the Sith, you know, but it's still Revenge of the Sith.
Are we really going to say that Revenge of the Sith is a stunning achievement in visual effects? I don't.
Well, I would say this: I would rather watch Revenge of the Sith than Gravity.
Wow, that's
Well, you mean
shots
you mean you
fired.
didn't like seeing Sandra Bullock floating around in space talking to a ghost George Clooney for half the movie?
Well, you know, you can't keep the clunes to just the first act.
the Cloons.
The clunes is gonna be there in the second act, you know.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
it's basically like I feel I had a fast pass at Disney. It's like, help Sandra get home. Can you help her get back to Earth? Make sure you hit this when this lights up.
By
You
the
know,
way,
it's like-
she'd be dead the minute she crash landed in that lake.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
She's
Well,
dead. Like no, there's no surviving that. You're dead. Like she'd be dead.
well, and two, I don't like the idea that she only has a character because her child died or whatever.
no,
or-
she has to get back to the kids.
She has to get back to
oh,
the
her
kid.
yeah, her
You're
character.
thinking of Arrival?
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
that's
I
the
sure
kid.
am.
That's the dead kid.
They came out at the same time, sort of.
You mean like 8 years apart?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
but there's a little bit of gap there.
Oopsies.
Sorry.
I didn't want to be the one to say it.
Maybe her getting home to her kid was just like her entire character, and that's what pissed me off.
Yeah.
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 That's a good list. It's a good list.
It was
solid
good.
list. All right, so let me round us out here, okay?
Bring us
So
home, baby.
I'll bring us home. So bottom of my list, I have, and you guys might hate me on this because I know that there is a core of people that love this movie.
That's the whole point.
Almost
Piss
famous.
us off. Oh wow, yeah.
You know, I do like that movie, but
I like that movie, too.
I'm not gonna be upset.
Let me
with
ask you a
it.
question. Why do you like that movie? Why? Because I really don't get it.
I don't know. I think it's the time era and the whole rock and roll aspect to it that kind of draws
But
me in.
don't
Yeah.
you get that? Like, here's the reason why I can't stand this movie. Everyone in this movie is horrible except for the kid.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is horrible. The groupie is horrible. The band is horrible. Everyone is horrible except for the kid. And the kid's annoying as all hell. I can't stand that actor. I can't stand his face.
Kate Hudson can't act. So
Yeah,
that
well,
also-
Kate Hudson can't act.
I can't stand his face.
Kate Hudson can't act, so she just acts like her mom did, 30 years ago. So, I just can't stand. I get the music aspect of it, but I just don't see the allure. None of the characters are likable. The arc's just kind of meh. It's like, the rock and roll singer he's got the heart of gold, even though he's basically banged every groupie on the tour. But he's going to end up with, Kate Hudson, because there you go. But hey, the kid likes Kate Hudson too, even though he just got pubes. So,
You mean Penny Lane?
Yeah, Penny Lane. I can't stand that movie. I don't get why people love it.
There's a reason she's making sweatpants now, or whatever the fuck,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and
Take that, Fabletics.
Here's the thing. That's not to say I hate everything that Kate Hudson is in. She was in that one horror movie, I think right after this came out, where she had the body switching one. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
That one wasn't too terrible.
Brian, we know you love Fool's Gold with McConaughey.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Brian's favorite movie is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Of course, absolutely. But I'm just saying I don't find her terrible in everything. I just really don't get why everyone loves this film.
And this is a really good movie to hate that everyone loves because everyone fucking loves that movie.
I know. Okay, so next on my list, this is not a surprise. I've already expressed how my deep-seated hatred for this film, for many reasons, is Blair Witch Project.
Yep, I just mouthed it to John. I just mouthed.
You thought I was going to say Scream, didn't you? No, I don't. That is not on my list.
I mouthed Blair Witch to John because I knew that's what you were going to say.
And I think I find Blair Witch more historically interesting.
Me too.
Than it is as a film. Because I'm with you, Brian. You watch that movie now with knowing the big twist. It's so fucking boring.
Here's the thing. I watched that movie on VHS tape from Eagle Video.
Video
when it came out, and it was my brother and I both watched it because we're like, oh man, everyone says this movie is great. We didn't see it in the theater because we were under the age of 18, so we had to resort to convincing our mom to get us this, even though she really didn't care what movie we got. But the point is, I watched it, and after 90 minutes, after it ended, I'm like, is that it?
Oh.
I've never had a horror movie experience, even when I've watched some really terrible stuff, where I literally come away just going did I miss something? Did I miss the scare? Where is that at? It's not there. This movie is, and I've said this before, this movie is a masterclass in marketing.
Yeah.
If you ever want to know how do I sell my movie, study what Blair Witch did. I don't know if it will work nearly as well now as the internet. Most people have figured out that not everything on the internet is true.
What?
How dare you?
I would say maybe some of our Trump fans should maybe get that picture that everything on the internet is not true.
Are you telling me that Hillary Clinton doesn't have a child sex slave ring under a pizza restaurant?
Yeah, I kind of am. But my point is that back then in 1999, this was a phenomenon because the marketing. It was not the story; it was the marketing. The filmmaking is garbage meat, and it's you could say it's designed that way, and it probably is. But I find this movie terrible.
It's a brilliant way to get around not having any money or actors of
Yeah.
It's it's a found footage movie. We cobbled this footage we found together.
Well, it's interesting because
touche.
This is a neat piece of epistolary fiction, actually, because epistolary fiction is like Dracula. So it's a story that's told through letters or diary entries only.
Yeah.
And I took a workshop last week on it. These COVID times, I'm trying to make the best of my free time. And one of the things that was fascinating about it to me is that a found footage film like this one is presented to be. This is considered epistolary fiction because it's been cobbled together from almost I guess we call this a vlog. Now, vlogs didn't exist in this time, but it's almost, the video diary that you would consider this footage to be. And I mean, I get it. I get how, especially now, it seems gimmicky.
Right. and here's the thing too is I also take this movie as one of the inflection points, if you will, in the history of horror films. I've said before that I really believe, and not with this movie, but with Scream, that at that inflection point, horror changed. I think
for the better.
No. I
had to make you upset.
But I think Blair Witch changed the game for horror because in the studio's eyes, they said, well, we don't have to spend money on a story or, good filmmaking. And this I think happened for a time because I think people tried to replicate what Blair Witch had done.
Yeah.
And instead focus on, well, let's just see how we can market the fear of it being a found footage film.
Right.
I don't think it's nearly as popular now, but I look at it as that is time that could have been spent releasing movies that, maybe did have good narratives, that maybe did have scripts that were pretty strong. And because of the fact that they did not fit into what is hot, the found footage film, because of fucking Blair Witch, those movies might have never been made. So that's kind of where I view that as it took us away from horror.
I could see that.
It reminds me of Paranormal Activity. Boring as hell for 90 minutes for just one big scare at the end.
Paranormal Activity got its formula from Blair Witch.
Exactly. Yeah. And like you said, it's a masterclass in marketing. I think a lot of the things surrounding Blair Witch are much more interesting than Blair Witch, the movie itself. Yeah. The stories of it being made. And one of the things that I will say is they definitely tortured the actress on set.
A little bit.
That was not good. So,
funny fact. So I was talking to my wife about this last night, and I was going over my list with her, and I mentioned Blair Witch, and she hates it too, which I'm like, good. But
this marriage is gonna last.
Marriage made in heaven.
The funny thing is that she said she actually liked Blair Witch 2.
Oh, Book of Shadows. Yeah, well, that's actually a narrative.
It's an actual movie. Yeah,
and I was like, you know what? I kind of dig it as well. I can see how terrible it is. It's not. Most people hate that movie.
That's funny.
But she's like, you know what? I really like Blair Witch 2. I'm like, okay, you're kind of the only one.
That's funny.
But anyway. That's that movie, that terrible movie.
Knew that was coming. Coming.
Let's run into my third one here. Now, this is one of those ones where it's a series of movies. So I have down any movie released by Blumhouse except for any of the Jordan Peele collaborations.
Oh,
okay.
I don't know if I'm going to give you full credit, but okay.
That's a full credit thing. Come on, man.
I'm gonna have to Wikipedia Blumhouse and see a list of all the movies.
Okay, so Blumhouse. let me give you a little bit of a background on Blumhouse. Okay, and this kind of goes.
Blumhouse.
Well, this kind of goes hand in hand with their just dumbing down of horror. Like I really have a problem with their dumbing down of horror. So just to give you an idea here, Blumhouse has been around since 2006. Okay, and the movies they've released, the one that really shot them to notoriety,
meteoric rise,
is Paranormal Activity.
Right.
Okay. So right there, and they've been basically responsible for a series of movies that are just terrible,
dude.
And I would if you look at Wikipedia, like I'm looking at, you've got movies like they did Tooth Fairy, they did Paranormal Activity 50. They're responsible. They're responsible for Happy Death Day.
Fuck you! I love Happy Death Day. That movie's fucking funny.
I don't like it. They're responsible for The Purge. They're responsible for The Gift and Sinister. They're responsible for every movie that is just kind of. They're responsible for the Belko Experiment. They're the Amityville: The Awakening. So I'm looking at all their lists. They're
disappointing.
Okay. They're responsible for Black Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Ma, Stockholm, Glass. They're responsible for all these movies that are just god awful, and I can't stand them. I really can't. Now, I did mention. Oh, and by the way, you'll love this. They're also responsible for the remake to The Craft.
Oh no! Wait, Wait, did that come out?
Not yet.
I was gonna say.
They're also responsible for Halloween, the sequels like Halloween Kills and
Oh,
Halloween
yeah.
Ends.
Yeah.
Now,
Whatever.
I'll give 'em-
I still like Happy Death Day.
Yeah, I know. Now, this isn't all of them, and that's why I said, for the most part, I like the Jordan Peele collaborations that they've done.
Jordan Peele kicks
Get Out,
ass.
Get Out definitely was one that's good, but I mean, for the most part, I just view them as kind of like a high class version of the Asylum.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It's like, we'll give you $10 million to make this movie. I only need $100.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
And so I can't stand Blumhouse because I think everyone views, well, if you're not a horror movie through Blumhouse, you don't exist.
Yeah,
Interesting.
well, it's because like you don't think of like, oh, is that new Warner Brothers movie? Nobody
No.
talks like that, but you do with Blumhouse. They
For
some
reason.
marketed themselves that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my issue with them.
All right. All right.
So
Fair.
so number 2 on my list, John, you'll appreciate this because you had to put yourself through this crucible. All of the Fast and Furious movies,
That's so funny.
every one of them,
I'll tell
every
you
one of
what.
them, no
I'll tell
redeeming
you,
factors at all.
I haven't
Even
seen
7?
I haven't
Yeah.
seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them, and it was funny to me because when John did do his marathon of all of them in 24 hours,
Yeah.
people do love those movies.
Yeah.
You got a lot of responses. You got a lot of feedback. People reached out to you. You got a lot of private messages from people of people being like, "Oh my god, this one's my favorite, and I love this movie." I was very shocked.
I just don't get it. That's my problem. That's my problem. Is
Well, do you like Cars?
Not really.
Do you like Vin Diesel?
Eh. He was good, and I liked him in Riddick. like Chronicles of Riddick. I like that.
Do you like Paul Walker?
I mean,
I mean-
I think you're supposed to say yes because he's dead, but I mean,
No, you're supposed to say yes because he's dreamy. Okay.
no, I
Not
think
anymore, he's
not
not.
anymore. He's
F both of you.
Unless you're into Bones.
Fuck you, John.
Has he reached bone stage yet? Do we know?
Oh my God, we're not talking about
was
this.
very
That's so
skinny,
rude.
You know, so maybe.
So rude. God, he was so beautiful. Oh, you guys are dicks.
Yeah, I never got the allure of this film. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was like, yeah, I guess it's good.
That's crazy. That's very unusual.
I've seen. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I haven't seen all of them. I haven't gone through the Crucible like John has. But I think after Tokyo Drift, I was just like, I'm done. Like I don't need to see anymore.
I don't know if it's because it was nothing but this for 17 straight hours, but now when I think back on them, I would love to be quizzed because I think of scenes from this franchise and I can't remember which fucking one it is. Like, oh, they're dragging a bank vault down the road with their cars. John, that is 4. No, it's 6.
I wonder how many people have binged those movies. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
I maybe when there's only like 4 of them.
Yeah.
Not like me, who's
Quite a
an asshole.
binge.
Yeah.
Quite a binge.
No, I'm with you. I'm not a big car guy. I never really liked Vin Diesel, so like I was challenged on this. That's why I watched them all. Like otherwise, I probably would have gone my whole life without seeing them if somebody hadn't been Damien. Tell me.
Yeah. But that's my number 2 pick. I can't stand any of them. I don't.
Do you know what
get
my
the
favorite
allure.
one is?
None.
Tokyo Drift.
Oh,
That is his
It's
favorite.
because it is the one that is the most batshit insane.
you know,
Yeah.
here's my thing about Tokyo Drift. The concept alone of, well, you know, there's a whole series of racing. If you don't know how to drift, you can't survive the race. It's like, really, man? Come on. Really? Come on. We don't. That's just stupid.
Oh,
Like, I
so
think there's a
funny.
scene, if I remember back, there's a scene where they're like in a parking garage and they're drifting down the spiral. And I'm just like,
With Bow Wow? Oh, yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Bow
Probably.
Wow.
He was there. I just really, I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand him. I'm just like, and then of course now they're superhero movies. Like that's quite literally it, right? They have like a command center and all sorts of shit.
Oh yeah. That's funny.
Hey, Brian, I can tell you right now, you can have any pandemic you want as long as it's Corona. There's a lot. Well, our audience got it. There's a line of movie. You can have any beer you want as long as it's Corona.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That-
I didn't. I told you. I stopped at,
I was
at
like, what
Tokyo
the
Drift.
fuck?
I live my life a mile at a time.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, of course you do, right? Of course you do. Of course you do. How's your miles now since you're locked down?
All right, Brian.
All right, I'm bringing
Number
home.
one.
Number one. I'm going to get a lot of flack for this one because I already know it. There's so many people out there who love this movie and are endeared with this film.
Do we love this movie?
You probably do.
Okay.
John, I'm not sure about you, but you probably do, Lane.
I'm just talking about this.
Grease.
Oh, it's fine. I get
Okay,
it.
good.
Yeah,
I get it.
good.
Yeah.
I do really like Grease, but like I get why
But
you wouldn't.
I cannot stand this film
I get
with a
it.
passion.
I get it.
I
John Travolta alone kind of ruins it for
I
me,
can't
and I
stand
do
the
like this movie.
songs. I can't stand the characters. I can't stand the time period. I can't stand any of it. Anytime that, like, I remember in this was probably like middle school. I remember that suddenly around middle school, everyone discovered Grease. So they were like, "Oh my god, Grease is so great!" And it's like, "Fuck you! I can't stand this shit." I don't like musicals to begin with. Like, they're just not my thing. So, like, I've seen this and I can't stand it. But there are a lot of people.
Released it around that time. Like I remember in
Probably.
in 6th grade. Yeah, they re-released it in theaters, so that's why everybody got into it all. Of a sudden.
Oh my god, it's just, I just don't get it. I don't, and that's a lot of these movies. They're movies that I just simply do not understand what the allure is. And with Grease especially, like I get that it's just, well, it's a musical. But I'm like, isn't she just going for the asshole? Like, is that the messaging you want to give?
Did she put up a fight? Yeah, no.
This movie has problems. I get it.
But yeah, no, I'm with you. I wouldn't say I hate this movie, but it's and the thing is, I love musical theater. I've actually said, Brian, I'm with you. I don't like movie musicals just because I don't think that the art of Broadway transfers to film.
It doesn't.
I love
It doesn't.
Broadway with a passion. I don't know how I'm heterosexual, but yeah, and Grease, I think it almost is like, because it came out in the 70s, was almost like a takeoff on other like theater. So like it's not, I wouldn't say it's a satire, but it's something in that vein.
Yeah, it's a little confusing thematically, I would say.
It's rebellious. Like, we're not going to play by other Broadway rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but I really don't like movies that break into song. I'm be honest, I really just don't. Like,
I would have pegged you for a song and dance band. Brian,
no, I'm
you know?
not. I'm not at all. I'm not at all. But I can't stand the characters. And I think with any movie, if you don't buy the characters, if you're not invested in the characters,
oh no,
you're done.
It's over.
And I find no one in that movie redeemable, and no one in that movie interesting. So if I'm watching a movie and I don't find anyone redeemable, and I don't find anyone interesting, and I can't stand that it breaks into song, that ranks up pretty high on my list of I hate yous.
Oh, no. I get it.
Like, yeah, I can't stand it. And I know a couple years back they did like a live thing of Grease, and I'm just like,
Though I will tell you a fun fact about that. So Vanessa Hudgens played Rizzo in that.
Yeah.
And
This
her
isn't fun. I know this story.
Well, not fun, but like interesting. Her dad was really sick with cancer when she was doing the rehearsals for it.
That's horrible.
He died like 2 hours before she went on live, and she just crushed the performance. I had a lot of respect for her, just like killing it and just doing it, and just going out and like making it happen.
That's a horrible thing. I didn't know that, but either way, it still doesn't take away from my hatred for this film.
Well, no, and it doesn't necessarily like make the show better or anything. I'm just saying, like, if you ever see like a clip of her online, like it's worth checking out, like knowing that, because like she just nailed it. I do like Vanessa Hudgens a lot.
Jesus, Lane, way to like bring down at the end of the just somber note at the end. Of the
Whatever.
It'd be like Bill Pullman. Today we celebrate our Independence Day.
What? I just think that's interesting.
No,
and
it's an interesting fact.
Yeah.
And two, she did say some stupid stuff about Corona recently. I want to make sure that y'all know that I know that.
Really?
But I think that, you sometimes
Is she on
say
the beach in
things-
Florida? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think so, no. She just said some like kind of stupid stuff. I think she was like, in her house alone and like just was running her mouth and everything.
Yeah,
so
she
it's fine.
shouldn't have done that. not during a public health crisis.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
well.
it's-
Well, that's a hell of a list, guys.
I know. I like how we all yelled at each other.
Of course.
I'll
Of
be
course.
curious to see. Like, I feel that I'm gonna get some hate. Lane, you'll get some hate. Brian,
Oh
you'll get some
yeah,
hate.
definitely.
Yeah.
And like I said,
We'll probably get a few people who are like, I'm with you.
yeah.
Fuck that
My
movie.
biggest one is probably Big Lebowski. People are gonna be mad about that.
Oh
'cause
yeah,
people love
yeah.
that shit.
Lane. You might get like a full force of trolling just because of Lebowski.
Listen,
I'll
whatever.
Get it from Matrix.
That's fine.
I don't know. I might get it from people who just like love Grease.
Or Blumhouse.
The horror.
You went after a lot of movies.
I did, but I'm sorry. Like Blumhouse is.
Brian, we
just
said 5
a
movies, not
knockoff.
300.
yeah.
They're
Brian,
just terrible. Just terrible. Oh man. Okay. Well, this has been fun.
Yeah, it
Hopefully
was
our
fun.
recording didn't get corrupted during this time, and we'll have to redo it again. But Lane, where can they find you at on the Twitter machine?
On Twitter, you can find me at LA_Croft, but I'm kind of like an Easter egg hunt now because I'm not on there very much.
Oh, okay. John, where can they find you?
They can find me at Neo did not come back to life because Trinity loved him. That's stupid. The Unreal J Wolves.
You can find me in the Matrix. You can find me at Brian Collington around the Psycho Show page. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Psycho Show. You can also find us on the Epicast Network at epicastnetwork.com. If you have a favorite movie or question you want to throw our way, or you want to talk to us about the movies that we trashed and how you're going to find us in our sleep, you can contact us at cinemapsychoshow.com. And make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, and we will see you next time.
Guys, if our penises are English, does that mean we have to go to the Institute of Silly Cocks?
Wow. Just wow.
Epicast.